What's up, everybody? Good evening. It's Andy Roda here. Welcome to the fourth edition of
The Shortest Read Session.
For those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time, I started this series four weeks ago, and it was a way for me to reconnect and jam with my friends and colleagues, obviously during the pandemic. But since the world is slowly opening up, unfortunately, us performers are still not fully able to do our thing. So I thought that it was still it would be a fun thing to still reconnect with my friends and tap into their brains and to their being of how they're sharing their music and artistry, and hopefully inspire people and share their voices and just share feel good moments with the rest of you guys. So tonight is a very, very special night because I'm live from Berlin, and my dear friend, the multiple threat. She's a beautiful singer, dancer, actress. She does it all. Netherlands' finest, the one and only Miss Nyassa Alberta, is joining us from the city of Utrecht in the Netherlands. So you guys, if you are ready for an electrifying edition of the Short and Sweet Session, you are definitely up for a treat. But the question is, are you guys really ready? Yes? Okay. Well, then let's roll the intro. Yes, ma'am! Serving legs, looks, and lushness. Please, everybody, please show your love and help me welcome live and direct from Utrecht, the Netherlands, the one and only Miss Nyassa Alberta.
Hey!
Miss Nyassa, how are you? Oh, hold on. Oh, you're getting double applause. Yes.
Thank you.
It's been a while since we've seen each other in real life. So first of all, how are you doing, and how have you been keeping yourself busy during this whole mess the last 3 months?
I'm good. I'm good now. Because we just started. We only were playing for a month. Our premiere of Tina in Holland was on the 9th of February, and we played our last show on the 11th of March. So we basically played a month.
Okay.
The people were really enthusiastic. They bought tickets. We sold already 150,000 tickets within a month, and we were just out of the rehearsal process into playing. So we just were finding our groove. So it was all on a high, and then all of a sudden there was nothing.
Nothing.
So obviously that was really like a big shock. I mean, my body and my voice needed it because I was really tired.
I could imagine.
But it's just like, because you just go. You don't even think. You just go and go and go.
Yeah.
So obviously in the beginning I was very uneasy. Every time I sat on my sofa, I was just like, I should be doing something. I felt guilty. And at one point I was like, I need to find some sort of purpose in my life. I feel, So I just, at one point I was like, all right, Nyassa, you need to have some routine. So with a few colleagues, we have like a little sports group every morning at 11 o'clock. Wait a second. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. All good. All good. It's live and direct from
Yeah.
Berlin and Utrecht. Guys, this is live TV, baby.
So every morning around 11 o'clock, we have like a little sports group. If someone puts on a workout and we do this
Okay.
workout. I try to cook healthy. I still try to eat healthy. Not always easy.
Yeah, yeah,
but I'm
hey.
trying.
It's live, yeah.
So but now I was like, okay, this is also hopefully the only time in my life that I get to rest the way that I can,
Yeah.
and also look for new things. So I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
Yes.
Yeah, like I've noticed, like if I cannot change something, I really cannot like stress myself about it, because there's honestly nothing I can do. So I might as well surrender.
Surrender. Well,
And,
that's all we can do during this time, because
Yeah.
we literally can't force anything.
Yeah.
So before we dive deeper into Tina, and also I want to bring everybody up to speed with how you and I connected the very first time.
Yes.
This whole series was, as I mentioned in the intro briefly, it was a way to reconnect with friends and colleagues to share our artistic output. But the thoughts that I've had about this whole series is really about connecting with people who I admire and respect, who had the drive and the know-how how to turn their purpose and their passion into their profession. Because we both know, you might see the glamorous performance like we just saw with you, but there's a whole lot of preparation that goes into getting to that moment. So for the people out there who might have just discovered you, what could you share from your early beginnings? Like, what was the first spark that you had of inspiration that made you want to even embark on this crazy journey being an artist?
Well, I used to dance. Like I started doing ballet when I was 3 years old, and I always actually wanted to be a ballet dancer.
Okay.
But quite soon I was told that I didn't have the right build for it. So for me, because I live I come from the north of Groningen, and all the things that are happening when it comes to theater, most of it is happening in the west of Holland.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like the only thing in my head I could do on a stage was to dance ballet. So when that dream collapsed, basically, I was just, all right, well, that's it then. Until I saw there was a tour of fame, and they came to Groningen, where I was born. And then I was like, oh my gosh, there's more you can do. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And Fame, I always used to watch the series, and then I saw the musical, and I was just like, that was what sparked me, that I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then I auditioned for the academy in Amsterdam, and I was hired, but I never, like I said, I was dancing more. So you could do the dance side, or in the second year you could do the musical side. And for me, I always was considered myself more of a dancer. I had my first singing class when I was 18 years old, so that was quite late.
Well, you sound like you've been singing since you were 2.
No. Yeah, so it was a surprise. I mean, it was a surprise for me. I've also, during the academy, I didn't even learn that much. So for me at the time, I was just like, I just wanted to be on stage, didn't matter how. But at one point, I saw people playing parts, and I was like, I can do that too, So I've worked my ass off. I've always kept on taking singing classes. I started taking more acting classes, and obviously every production I did, I learned more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got, like, I never dreamt of me playing Tina Turner. I never thought I could do it,
The thing is that watching you from a distance. So guys out there, I had the pleasure and honor of sharing the stage with Miss Nyassa Alberta in 2000. Was it 2018? End of 2018.
I think so.
Something like that.
Yes.
On the European tour of Beat It, the musical based on Michael Jackson's life, where Nyassa played another iconic black legendary performer who's changed the world, Miss
Diana Ross.
Miss Diana Ross, everybody.
Little fun fact.
Yes.
When I was a child, I always used to say that I was Diana Ross.
Well,
Don't
but
ask
words
me
have
why.
power. Words have power.
Yes, so here, there we go. It happened. So.
It happened. And so looking through your history, and I glanced through your very impressive resume, Miss Thang. Not only have you done Sister Act, played Dolores, you played Lion King, you played Rachel in The Bodyguard, and now Tina Turner. So
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, I mean, for in acting, one thing that I learned myself in preparation or in prepping for a role is that you think that you really are discovering, I mean, you have to discover facts about the role that you have to depict, but really on the meta level, what is really going on is that you're really discovering things about yourself. I don't know
Yeah.
if you, right? So you've actually, for the last few years, you've actually depicted three very powerful, iconic black performers who've changed the world. Diana Ross, Whitney, or in this case it was Rachel, and,
Yeah.
and now Tina. Can you share with us what you've learned through, maybe if you want to go through the journey of these three ladies and what the challenges have been preparing for such iconic roles, such as
Yeah. So
Tina
for
and
me, it's like every time you hear these names, like, oh, Nyassa, you're gonna play this part or that part. Well, my first initial reaction is like, like, no, my first initial reaction is like, I want it.
yes,
Then when I get it, I'm like, oh, how am I gonna do it? And then I start to work. So
yeah.
it's for me. I always need to have I need to have a lot of respect for a part in order for me to dig deep. So for me, there is this acting coach. Her name is Suzanne Batson, and she taught me like that you have to. What makes you like? Yes, it's a part. For instance, now the part of Tina. It's a part of Tina, but I'm telling her through my story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, of course, I can watch the videos. I can listen to how she sings. I can listen to how Whitney sings. I watched a lot how Diana Ross moved, for instance. So that I can do from the outside, basically. But for me, in order, and especially with Tina, I have that very strongly. I have to. Thank God my life wasn't as extreme as her life, like emotionally with all the things, for instance, she went through with Ike. But I need to find a way to make it authentically for me, you know? So, yes, I've read all the books, and that gives you even more depth, and you can more use your imagination of what it might have been like. But I always try to go to certain situations that happened in my life, so I could go to the emotion that I need for that scene.
For it to be authentic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to dig deep. Sometimes, there, like for instance, in Tina, there is a part of the show where my mother passes away. My biological father passed away. So I basically always go back to that moment.
Yeah.
And that's just because then you know how it is to lose a parent, you know.
Yeah.
And that I can use it to authentically play that scene. Yeah, so that's how I do it. There are different ways, obviously, but that's something that has worked for me. And it can be very heavy because sometimes you don't want to go to those places, you know.
Yeah.
But
You must to take them on this journey,
yeah,
right?
you have to.
You have to. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, and the part of Tina, for instance, it's such a big part. So there's so much going on. You don't really have time to think. So you just do it. And I like in the beginning, you're very drained, you know, at the end of a show. But it's now I do it, and then afterwards, like I always say, I have like a drawer and all my emotions in there. I open the drawer, use the emotion that I need. Then after the show, close the drawer, go home and sleep.
Darling, children out there,
Yeah.
that's called professionalism,
Yeah.
okay? That's
You
called
have to
being
protect,
professional.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to protect your heart as well, because if you really, it's hard to go. Like I said, sometimes it can be really hard and heavy. So you need to find this balance that it works for you.
Speaking of Tina, I want to also touch on a funny thing about Diana Ross, but since we're talking about Tina and it's such a
Yes.
current thing that you're doing, and she's representing, for those of us who watched that, What's Love Got to Do with It, that was actually the first time I really dug into the depth of her story,
Right.
and seeing the trials that she was going through as a human being. What are the things that you've learned about yourself, or that you could reflect in yourself in Tina?
I've learned to like I have to go to her first because obviously, yeah, what she all went through, and that she still believed in herself. She picked herself up. She went back to zero after she left Ike Turner. She had nothing. She had like 36 cents and ran off, saved herself, and she had nothing. And he was giving her such a hard time to even sing the music because he owned the rights. So he, all these things, and that to still believe in yourself, that you have what it takes, and to keep going and going and going. Where there are so many people that go like, "Oh, you're a woman, you're too old, you're black, we don't need you in this industry."
Yeah.
And she kept going. So she is such a trooper. And so for me, I've learned also to be to trust myself, to
Amen.
fight.
Yes.
Yeah, to fight, work hard. Don't make excuses. Just go, because people will try and make excuses for you. And I always try to not give people any excuses. If I don't make them, I guess there is no space for them to make them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, that's how
Yeah.
that was one of the qualities that I felt without having spent more than 24 hours with you when you joined the cast of Beat It. It was one of the qualities I could intuitively feel about you, that, okay, this one, she has this drive and strength and courage to just go no matter what. And
Yeah.
there was just something that I could read about you, and obviously it manifested into further into a role like Tina Turner. So for me,
Yeah.
watching from outside, it was a totally natural evolution that you would go on to do something like that, and still
Oh,
doing something like that.
thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you. It's. I remember a few years ago that I was talking to my vocal coach, and we were talking about what I wanted, and I said, like, I want to open I want to be a leading lady in a opening show, like not like in a when they extend a contract. I want to be there from the beginning, from the get-go.
The principal.
The principal.
Yes, absolutely.
And then it was really funny because I did Tina in Hamburg first, and then when Tina came, I didn't want to go.
By the way, listen, you can't see this. Guys out there, Nyassa is only looking at her screen. She can't even see me because of technical problems. But I just pulled up pictures of you next to Tina, and then she's so beautiful. Both of you are beautiful. And then there's a picture of you in the red Tina, with the red Tina background with the what do you call that hair? The lioness hair?
The iconic
The
wig.
iconic.
The iconic wig.
The iconic wig.
Yes.
And then next to it is a picture from another production. I think it's Rachel Marin from The
Yes, it's
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard. Yes.
Sorry, I was cutting you off. I just wanted to let you know what people are seeing. So
Yeah, of course. So like I said, I wanted that for myself. But then when Tina came, the auditions for the show, I didn't want to go. I was like, because I've worked so long to finding my own voice, and I was just like, if I'm going to sing these songs, I'm going to ruin my voice. I have to scream. I have to use my voice in a completely different way than I've been doing for the past years. And I was like, no, it's too much. Clearly she had other plans for me. So my agent then at the time was like, because I even tried to get out of the audition. I was like,
it
not
sounds
feeling
like
too
she
well.
was trying to make a little bit excuses there.
Yes,
is that
I
old
did,
fear trying to creep up on us, huh? Once in a while.
So I learned afterwards
Yeah.
to not make excuses. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, honestly. So it was really interesting that I didn't see, I wanted it, but didn't see that was the path that was going to get me to where I wanted to be,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting that happened like that.
But isn't that really part of life that we can have an idea? We can have, I mean, first of all, I want to say to children out there, power, words have power, and it all really
Yeah,
starts in your mind. And if you can, it sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth. If you can perceive it, then you can achieve it. So,
yeah,
but the thing is that the beautiful, surprising part of life is that we cannot. We might have an idea, but it's really the essence of what we want. So it doesn't always look, the package always doesn't look as what we thought it was going to
right.
be. Many times when we surrender to the flow, it's actually much grander than we thought, than we could think,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
that's what
yeah,
happened. Everything you just said, that's a testimony of that.
yeah. True,
So,
true, true.
I want to just go a little bit back in time because, as I mentioned, you and I met through Beat It, and I was looking
Yes.
through the vaults.
Oh my God.
So we're talking about like serious inspirational moments, but they're backstage, guys. A lot of stuff is going on that we don't know, that
Let
you
me see
don't
what you're
know.
gonna pull up.
So I just want to set the scene. So we had this particular scene. I was in this play. I was playing a promoter, and Diana, played by Nyassa, the promoter, and Diana was having a dialogue about Michael and lots of stuff. And this text had been changed 100 gazillion times. And so, children out there learn from us people that you should never be shady backstage and make jokes, especially about other people, before you go on stage.
Oh
Because
Lord.
no, but this is not the blooper version. I just wanted to show how we shared the stage just briefly in Beat It. 1 second, it comes here.
Aber er gönnt sich und den anderen einfach keine Ruhe.
Ja, okay, aber that's Showbiz. Komm, Darling, wir gehen essen. Lade dich ein.
So that was a good day, but there was one day in particular I will never forget this. We had just relearned this text because there was always these changes, and I'm being super shady with Nyassa backstage, and we go on curtain go out, and then I had to drive the scene and blah 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 blah, and I had to like serve a cue to Nyassa for her to move on. And I just totally blanked out and forgot the cue. And I was like trying to Morse code blink, Nyassa, where are we going? Like, what the fuck? Help me out here. And she was literally just like, boop, I don't know. She left me in the gutter, but some miraculous way, we brought it home. But
Yeah.
it's just a fun anecdote from our experience together on stage.
True.
And a lesson to
Yeah,
be learned.
I'm horrible like this. Like sometimes, like I had it one time with another friend of mine when
Yeah.
I was doing Sister Act as well.
Yeah.
And he didn't remember his lines, and I just looked at him like,
Boop, it's
"That's
on you.
not collegial, so don't do that."
Children, don't do that. Don't do that. But learn your lines.
Exactly.
Learn
My
your-
excuse then was though that like obviously I'm Dutch. I was doing the show in German, so my German wasn't up to.
I'm Danish
So I
Filipino. I'm like worse
You know?
than you. I had like less excuses than you.
You know.
Oh God.
Sorry. This was all before Tina, so I used to use excuses then too.
True.
You know.
Yes.
It's
take,
different now.
Take notes. Take notes, children. Guys, so obviously this is the short and sweet session, so we have to sing a song for you guys.
Yes.
For the people out there who are joining us, if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat, and then we'll get back to you after we sing the song. Feel free to ask Nyassa anything, or feel free to ask myself anything. But for now, I think it's time to share a little song that Nyassa picked. Do you wanna introduce it?
Yes, it's a song called "Ordinary Heart." I love it, and it's sung by Emily King.
Yay!
Yoo-hoo!
Okay, guys, due to latency, and Nyassa can't even see me, so let's see how it goes. And I'm just gonna follow. I see you're tapping on this other screen.
Baby, I don't wanna lead you on, feed you empty promises and never follow through. There's a lot of things that I do wrong. If you're looking for the perfect one, this ain't for you. 'Cause what I've got is just an ordinary heart. I'll give it more than anybody. You can always trust this ordinary heart.
Maybe I don't wanna let you down, tell you that I'll always be around and miss my cue. I can be a lover and a fool. Every now and then I lose my cool. That's what I'll do.
'Cause what I've got is just an ordinary heart. I'll give it more than anybody. You can always trust this ordinary heart.
To the bridge!
I know you're scared that I might change, or even worse, I'll stay the same. I'll stay the same. Oh, 'cause what I've got is just an ordinary heart. I'll give it more than anybody. You can always trust this ordinary heart.
Yeah!
Yay! Wow, this is hardcore.
This is hardcore.
I was like,
Guys, I don't know if it was in time or whatever, but I mean, no matter what, we were definitely on time, on our own time if it wasn't in sync.
exactly.
Thank God for latency. Yay, technology.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. Let's see here. Oh, no. I have another surprise for you guys because, as mentioned, you're not only working in musical theater and singing, dancing, acting. And speaking of Tina, I just wanted to touch base on this, Tina, because for those of you who don't know the preparation behind it, Tina, when I just saw the video, you are singing like I've never heard you sing like this before, and I know what the amount of voice and energy it takes to produce this sound. But then on top of it, you're singing and looking goddamn amazing. So what were the preparations you had to do to actually, because like for myself, when I have to sing and dance, it's so counteractive to sing and dance at the same time, because you have to stay, as a singer, you have to stay loose with your belly and your diaphragm, but as a dancer, you have to be very tense and focused in the body in the total opposite way. So how did you do it? Like, how are you doing it?
The most important thing is stamina, because for me, obviously, it was really important to not, like, during a song to go like, so it's just like, I literally went Beyonce. I was on treadmills singing at the top of my lungs and do it as often as possible. So that's,
So it was like muscle memory. You were getting it into the body, doing everything at the same time.
Exactly. And it's I must say, because I can sometimes when I sing, I can think a lot, which is not very helpful, to be honest. But for this, because this show is so much, the song that you just played, that's actually the finale of the show. So you have to imagine that you have been on stage for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then at the end, that's what you need to do. So what I used to do was like, I did a workout and I always went when I was tired or something, I did like 10 minutes extra. Like when you're at your max, do an extra 10 minutes. So that was my mega mix, so to say.
Wow. Okay.
And it's just a matter of doing it and doing it and doing it till it's in your system.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because like I'm basically on stage the whole time. It's 22 songs in total. If I'm not on stage, I'm changing, putting on another wig, another costume, and go back. There's not even time to go to the toilet in the middle of an act.
Yeah.
Unlike Beat It.
That's an insider, guys. That's an insider. We're like, Nyassa to the stage. Hold on, where's Nyassa?
Yes, was true. The thing, quickly, just for you guys to know, Beat It, like the part of the, obviously Beat It is about Michael Jackson. So Diana Ross had played a big part in his life, but obviously in the show, it's not about Diana Ross, you know? So I had very little to do. In the second act, I literally did the first scene, and then I came back for the finale.
And then it was like 5 in a row, and then it was like
Exactly. So I'm making up for that with Tina.
It's karma, like you're getting everything back right now. Boom, Tina.
Yes, exactly. Because everyone was not because all the others were dancing and like sweating, and I was just like, chilling. So. So back to Tina. I was like, so it's a lot. So I'm always on stage, and but the good thing about that is because I don't have time to think. So I don't even think about it. I just do it.
You have to be fully present.
Because I have to, you know. The thing with Tina, because it like I was talking about it today with a friend of mine, because when I started Tina in Hamburg, it was always like, because it's so much, it feels like it's this mountain that you have to climb. And every time I started a show, I was just like, not sure if I'm going to make it to the top. That's literally how I started the show. I was just like, I'm going to start and I'll see how far I get. I've made it every single time.
Ain't it beautiful that Hamburg prepared you for the principal now in Holland?
Yeah. Because I must say, if I didn't know anything about it, I would have been so much more stressed.
Yeah.
Now it was, I knew what I could do and had from Hamburg, and now I could go much more focused on what I wanted to do with the part here, you know?
Sure.
So that was a really nice, that was amazing. That was a privilege that I had had Hamburg, you know, as a preparation for this journey here. And now every time I start a show, I know I will make it to the top. I know I'll make it through a show, but the only thing is like, I don't know how. So it's a step in the right direction, but I'm never at ease and go like, oh, I'm just going to do a show. It's too,
and that's I mean, that's guys out there who are not working in this business. You just see the glamour and the lights and all that stuff. But it's at the end of the day, theater. That's the beauty and also the hardcore part of doing live theater. I mean, when I first for most of my career, I've defined myself as a recording artist, although I've always wanted to do theater, and I did it in high school and in different productions while living in New York. But I didn't really take it seriously until more recently, and realized that theater is really for the hardcore performers, because you said, without the stamina and without mastering, or at least having practiced three art forms: song, dance, acting. It's just not possible to be able to be on that stage in this context.
And doing it 7 or 8 times a week, you know. So it's also, how do you keep it fresh? It's it's a thing of the mind as well, you know. You need to have a strong will in order to do it.
I'm just back to this picture with you and Tina. I just wanted to ask you, how was it meeting Miss Tina Turner?
Oh, I was starstruck. I mean, this literally it looks like we had all the time, but it was literally just 1 minute, if not less, you know. It was just like, oh, I need a picture. And they allowed me to take a picture, because we did a picture with the whole cast, and basically then all the soloists did one. And I was, because I was alternate in Hamburg, so I wasn't even on that night, but they allowed me to take a picture with her. So it was really quick. But it was all I wanted.
It was all you wanted. I mean, there's a lot of people who would die for a picture with Miss Tina Turner.
Yeah.
And then let alone play her and get the honor of depicting this iconic performer, Miss Tina Turner.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look through the comments if there's anybody with any questions for Miss Nyassa. There is. We got friends from Chicago, James
Hey,
Morris,
hi.
shout out from Copenhagen, Dennis Kagara, Riz Silva. She says hi. She's waving. Kendrick Sticks. Is that?
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I think Riz is the mother of one of the little Tinas in the show.
Oh,
I think so.
She says she sends hearts. Kendrick.
Aw.
We have Groetjes van Tamia. Is that
Yes,
right?
groetjes terug, ja.
Groetjes. Little
Yes,
Dutch.
groeten. Yeah. Groetjes terug.
Riz Silva says, miss you, Nyassa. Rebecca
Miss you
says,
too.
nice pictures, beautiful pictures. Oh my God. Okay. So I want to also show guys out there, you did a beautiful version of Cece Peniston's classic, Finally.
Yes.
So let's roll the tape. Let's see this.
Finally, it has happened to me right in front of my face. My feelings can't describe it.
Who's calling?
Finally, it has happened to me right in front of my face, and I just cannot hide.
Yes, Miss Thing. On her phone, was that Tinder or what is that? Getting
Just getting messages from my friend.
Was that a late night message or what was that?
He couldn't wait.
He couldn't wait. That was beautiful. Everybody, please check out Nyassa's music and everything. Actually, here are some of the links where people can find you. NyassaAlberta.com. Please connect with her on Instagram. I am Nyassa. And obviously
Yes.
here on Facebook, Nyassa Alberta. If there's no other comments, Nyassa, I hope you had fun.
I did. It was so good to see you.
It was so good
and talk to you
it was
and sing with you.
So good to sing with you and see you and share with you. I'm like I said, I was so proud of you. I am so proud of you to follow you on this journey and see how you're kicking and killing this role. And could you tell the guys out there, when is it? Do you have any information when it's gonna pick up again?
No, in Holland, because obviously the situation, the corona situation is a little bit different. We're a little bit behind from Germany. They wanted to give people perspective. So now they have said the worst case scenario is March 2021.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm still hoping that we will open sooner. Now from June 1st on, theaters are allowed to open with 30 people.
Yay,
July 1st
30 people.
with, yeah, I know. Hey, you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But obviously for a big theater that normally sits 1,500 people, that doesn't make sense.
Of course.
If that goes well, from July onwards, it's allowed with 100 people. But I hope that, because in Belgium they are going to open from July 1st with 200 people. And I'm also hoping that all the protests that are happening now, because it's obviously a lot of people together, that the numbers will stay the same, and that will give a little bit of trust that bigger groups of people together can work,
Yes, sure.
So I'm just hoping that September, October, we can do something. That's really what I'm hoping for.
I hope that as well. So guys, let me just pull it up again. Guys, please support and find Nyassa on NyassaAlberta.com and follow her on Instagram. I am Nyassa. And of course here on Facebook, Nyassa Alberta. Do you have any last comments that you want to share with the people out there? Your friends and fans out there?
Stay safe. I hope all of you are doing well. Stay safe and do what you have to do in life. Do what you have to do in life.
Yes.
Yeah, make it happen.
And remember, your words have power, and even though something might scare you, just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Nyassa is the living proof of, you might not think that you can do this, but you can do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Miss Nyassa, thank you so much for hanging out at this is my new jingle, by the way. Thank you so much for hanging out at the
shortest recession.
Did Did you hear that? And guys out there, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed spending your time with us here at the Short and Sweet session. Next week, I'll be joined by my friend and a very dear friend of mine from California. So until then, please stay safe, stay joyful, happy, and be kind to one another and be kind to yourself as well. So till next time, love you, peace, and take care. Thank you. Bye, Nyassa. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you.